Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Peak to Middle School. My name is Narwhal. I'm here with Kyle.
Yes, you are. And I have an amazing story that I would love to tell you.
Okay.
So just about an hour ago, I was leaving work. Okay. I'm just turning left, trying to get out of here, trying to get to John's house. Now, you know those on the side of the freeway, there's the barriers between like the directions they're like a cement block that's like probably 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
Those like cement barriers. Okay. So I'm driving kind of towards the highway, and I see a woman who is straddling this cement block.
Sorry, this is on the highway, or you're getting
I'm
highway?
like driving parallel to the highway,
Okay.
basically. And she's like straddling this cement block.
Okay.
So originally I'm like, why is she straddling? And she's probably just sitting there. Then I see she is gyrating her hips.
Oh.
So she is
okay.
she's humping said block. Okay. So as I get closer, of course, I'm looking at her, like trying to figure out what her deal is, and maybe she was just trying to scoot up a little bit. I don't know what she was doing. And she kept going, and then she looks at me. She stops, turns, looks at me, smiles, turns away, and just right back into it. And she was having a great time. And I was just
flicking the bean on a cement block
Yes.
in downtown Seattle?
Yes. She might still be going. I don't know.
That is so impressive.
I know. And then, like, originally the thought popped in my head of like, this is kind of sad. Maybe she's not doing so well. But then I took a step back, and she was having a good time. She was smiling.
There's
she was
nothing
happy.
sad about getting your nut in.
No,
It's
she was
inspiring.
she was doing it better than I was. I wish I was doing that.
So just so we're clear,
Mm-hmm.
she was sitting on top of one of those cement things.
Straddling.
Yep. And the cement is kind of resting right on her
Mm-hmm.
pleasure area.
Under region.
And she's just kind of going like
Just-
back and forth.
Just grinding on it.
Kind
Hard.
of like how you would move if you're riding like a mechanical bull, sort of.
Sorta. Yeah. Maybe like a little hand in the air
Yeah.
or something. I don't think her hands were in the air. She was firmly gripping this thing.
Now, how long were you in the vicinity of this lady? Like, were you at a red light?
This
Or
was
were you
probably
just driving past real quick.
Span of 15 seconds.
Damn. So in those 15 seconds, she looked at you, smiled, looked back, and kept going.
Yep. It was amazing
Damn.
because I kind of slowed next to her. Because it's hard to explain, but I was kind of slowed next to her, and that's when I looked over, and then she stopped, looked at me, smiled, and just went right back into it.
Wow.
And I was like, good for you. You're getting it.
Was this at like a busy area? Because I just feel like that's, it's not the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Not the ideal place to do that, I guess.
There were totally cars driving by. Like there were other people.
Yeah, so it's like a populated area.
It's a
not like in
populated area.
Corner, like under a bridge or something.
No. She was in broad daylight at like 1:00 in the afternoon, just humping this
Nice.
cement.
Well, when Kyle walked into my house today and he said, I just witnessed one of the most outrageous things of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really believe him. But honestly,
Yeah.
you'll never forget that.
The best part was just when she stopped and looked at me, and I thought, oh, maybe she's going to get awkward now. But she just smiled and just went even harder.
Like, what was her smile? Like, what did her smile say to you non-verbally?
It was like, yeah, I'm doing exactly what you think I'm doing.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
I can't really complain.
Yeah. Did you feel like it was gross? Were you like, ugh? Or were you like, whoa?
I was like, what the fuck? And then I was funny.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of proud of her.
Damn, bro, it's 4:20.
She might have just been high as fuck.
She might have just been high as fuck and was like, you know what would feel real nice right now? That cement block.
Yeah. And I'm sure it did. It seemed like it felt nice. So
Yeah.
shout out to that lady.
Damn, that's amazing. I'm kind of jealous.
I'm too.
You have all these cool things that happen to you since you work in like Seattle.
You got to come down here more often. It's really
I know.
fun. It's all kinds of people.
There's like shootings like last year. There's a lot of homeless people, which, that's fine.
There's a lot of just regular people too.
Well, yeah. But you got your curved leg guy.
Yeah, that's true. The bow-legged guy.
bow-legged
that
guy.
I wish I still haven't seen that guy since that one day.
Yeah.
That guy was legendary.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you got to have that experience
Me
today.
too. It made an average day very, very good.
Yeah. Now every 420, you can just be like, yo, do you remember what last year, like a year ago today, I witnessed that lady jerking off.
I'm going to drive past every day and just see if she's there.
Yeah.
See if I can get like a see.
Oh my God, maybe it'll be a recurring thing.
We'll see.
Like every Tuesday, you'll be leaving work and she'll be there and she's looking, waiting for you, and she just gives you a little wink.
Well, we'll check back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, speaking of 420, I actually found this article that well, I guess when you guys are watching this, it's like a week and a half past 420.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
so I just found this article today, and it was actually really interesting to me because I've mentioned this in like this topic in the past. But basically, it says the cannabis industry would like you to stop using these pot slang words, and it's like was posted today in honor of 420. It says many insiders believe, quote, marijuana is a term with racist roots. While others aren't so high on calling it weed, but 420 will give us time to contemplate. It says any term applied to cannabis other than cannabis is negligent and abusive behavior that we abhor.
Whoa.
So I was about to say the pot people.
You can't say pot.
The cannabis industry hates all these terms because they say the term marijuana is a Mexican slur. Although it's tolerated when combined with the word medical, like medical marijuana. The term marijuana originates from Mexican Spanish, according to Merriam-Webster, blah, blah, blah. But it was used by racist politicians who first criminalized cannabis, precisely because they wanted to underscore that it was a Latino, particularly Mexican vice. And the word, with all implications, has become the most common name for cannabis in the United States. And basically, it just goes on to say that just because we call it marijuana in the first place is like has an effect on like Mexican racism in this country.
Definitely.
It says the racism is still present. In 2016, Hispanics received 77% of federal marijuana sentences, despite making up 17% of the U.S. population. Anyways, so it goes on just to give a lot of the history of like why that term came to be and what we should call it instead.
Should we just only use cannabis? Like I'm gonna go smoke some cannabis.
Yeah, I think so. It says April 20th or 420 has become a day of celebration in the cannabis culture. The origin story goes that the term began with a group of California high school students designated 420 as a time to search for a supposed hidden crop in the 1970s. Also, there was kids in high school that like at 420
they would just
it sounds like they were designated that time to go search for a hidden crop in the 70s.
So just a group of high schoolers, like
just
looking
smoking weed.
They were just looking for weed,
or they were smoking weed while looking for another plant, or were they looking for?
They
weed?
were looking for I think they were looking for weed.
Oh, cannabis.
Hidden. Sorry, they were looking for. They were smoking cannabis, looking for cannabis to smoke more cannabis.
Yes.
God damn.
But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because on an episode a long time ago, we had Shim on and we were talking about all the different terms for like being high and stuff. There's like pot, weed.
But wait, why can't we say weed or pot? Or
because I think like I think their point is just that like anything other than cannabis is not actually what it is. It's like a nickname.
Okay.
And I think their point is that like, yeah, you're probably right. I think pot and weed aren't necessarily like racist terms, but I still think they carry a more negative connotation. Like if someone says they work in the cannabis industry, it sounds better than if they say like you work in like the pot industry.
Yeah, like I work at a pot shop or something.
Yeah, and usually people say pot when they're like, you know,
I feel like
all these young guys do is smoke pot.
Yeah, that's totally a boomer term is pot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how is saying weed different than saying like booze for alcohol? Like,
yeah, it's probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like if the alcohol industry was like, yeah, like stop calling it booze because it has a negative connotation.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's just, it's frustrating that literally like everything throughout history is rooted in racism.
Yeah.
Like even the name marijuana, like we had to use that.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to make it sound Latino or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's just so stupid.
I know. I wonder when the first racist thing was. Is it just like the first time that one group of people encountered another group of people?
I think so.
And they just were threatened for their life.
Yeah, started making up names for each other, and then boom, racism.
Yeah. So everybody, happy 420. If you celebrated, I hope you had a great time. If you didn't, then
good for you.
I hope you saw a lady in Seattle doing her thing.
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah. But anyways, Kyle, how's it going?
It's going great.
You're wearing your marathon shirt?
Yeah.
Are you back in the marathon mood?
Yeah. No. I'm never running a marathon again.
Never.
I've said like I want to. You
haven't got that itch back yet?
Not even close. Not even close to an itch. Not even Not even like, hey, I want to go for a jog today. Like 0.
Yeah, I went on like a 2-mile run the other day, and
Why?
it was. I stopped to walk like 4 times. It was just not worth it at all.
Yeah. I'd rather, there's other ways that I can get cardio if I want to do cardio,
Yeah.
like more fun ways.
But what I do enjoy about running is that if I want to like just get a workout in and I'm not trying to do a specific type of workout, running is by far the most efficient thing.
Biking is kind of the same.
Yeah. Or I
you
guess
gotta
just
go
doing
far.
like fucking burpees in your house or something. But like that shit
Yeah.
is just boring.
Running's pretty boring
Running's
too.
boring too, yeah.
Although, I don't know, there's something about a nice, peaceful, sunny day and you're running and the birds are chirping, I guess.
Yeah.
But
if you're trying to go slow, like running, I don't mind it if I'm not trying to actually like
push
work
yourself.
hard.
Yeah.
But as soon as I try to push myself, that's when it gets unfun. I learned that most people, when they run, they're running wrong. And like I watched this video and I was like, wow, I've been like doing this wrong my whole life. Basically, like your stride length, they said like almost every like average person who runs takes way too long of strides, and as a result you're wasting energy, because when you're going like kind of, I don't want to say galloping, I'm sure they have a term for it, but like when you take a step and then you take the next one, they said you want to minimize the amount that you're like going up. Like you don't want to spend energy to go up.
Yeah.
You just want to go forward. And so I basically learned that like to make it more efficient and to like be able to go longer distances, you want to take, unless you're really tall, you want to take but shorter strides than you would think feels natural.
Like how short?
Well, I can't really demonstrate, but I just like, the guy showed what like an average person looks like running, and I was like, okay, yeah, that looks like fine. I don't see what's wrong with that. And then he showed what it should look like, and I'm like, oh my God, that looks like how those runners in like marathons run, where they just like, everything is like more condensed, like they're choppier steps.
Yeah, that's true. They do have choppier steps. They all have really long legs too, but it still looks choppy. But I think because they have long legs, like that's why it still looks like they're taking big strides.
Yeah, yeah. And if I can find the video, it was a YouTube video. I'll link it in the description of this video on YouTube. But it was really interesting, and it's just like, it's crazy to me that there's stuff like that your whole life, like there's probably certain things we do our entire life that we just do so wrong.
Like how you hold a pencil.
Yeah.
You hold it like a caveman.
Yeah. Hey, it works though.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My hand cramps a lot, but
See,
I'm
it's not
strengthening that muscle, that tendon.
It's not as efficient though.
No. But if for some reason someone had to write how I write, they wouldn't be able to do it. So I have an advantage there in a really niche scenario.
But I feel like that almost hurts you because let's say you commit a crime and then you left a note and they're using your handwriting to trace it back. Only you could create that scribble.
Well, handwriting is different than my form. Everyone's got different handwriting.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
So like people could recreate my handwriting. It's nothing special.
It's kind of confusing to me that there's people that are specialists in like deciding whether or not handwriting is the same.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't you kind of alter it a little bit? Like, I could make my handwriting probably look a little different, no?
Yeah, you could, but I think they're that good that they can tell like this was still Kyle writing it, but I can tell based on his trends and his techniques that he altered it intentionally.
It's crazy. And I know that they mentioned like there's certain letters that they'll look at, like a K, like how many strikes does it take for you to do a K?
Yeah.
Like how many strikes do you do? 2 or 3?
Strikes meaning like
times touching the paper.
I do 2.
Yeah, same. Some people do 3.
Oh.
Or like same with an F, like do you go up or down? When you do an F, do you go down or like
I start from the top and go down, and then I go back up and do the 2 lines.
Yeah. Wait,
go.
What about like a lowercase f?
Oh, then I start at the top.
Oh, whoa, you write a line and then do that?
For a capital F. How do you do your capital Fs?
I do I start from the bottom, I go up, right, and then do the second one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you're doing like a upside down L and
Yeah.
then just throwing on another line.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did we learn it that way?
I don't know. Now I'm
I
starting
feel
to think.
like I do it the way most people do it, but I could be totally wrong.
Wait, but lowercase f, you start from the top, right?
Yeah.
I used to always start from the bottom, and I can't remember who, but they were like, "Why do you do that?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I started going from the top, and I was like, "I like this better."
It's
my Fs
easier
look
to
better.
get it to go straight, I feel like, when you start from the top.
Yeah, I agree. But I write F's. Like there's 2 F's in my last name, and I was apparently writing them wrong my whole life. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which way do you spin your circle, or an O or a 0?
This clockwise. Clockwise.
I go counterclockwise.
Well, but that's because you're righty and I'm lefty.
Yeah. There's some righties that I see do the other way, and I'm like,
well, that's just really weird.
And then it just looks stupid.
Guys, if you've listened to the show for a while, you know that Kyle and I both very much love The Office. Kyle and Shim have probably watched. How many times do you think you've watched through it?
At least 5.
Okay, I've watched through it at least 2. And like I've seen some of them 3 or 4 or 5 times. But there was a very interesting tweet long thread of tweets the other day that I wanted to read with you because I read through like the first half of these and I was like, this is very deep and interesting, but I wanted to read it. Like, I don't even know how it ends, but basically it says, Jim from The Office is one of the most insidious cultural entities I can think of. I've started and restarted typing like 5 threads trying to explain this.
Interesting. Okay. Well, one thing I will say is Luke brought to my attention that the more he's watched it, the less he likes Jim.
I've heard people say that.
I agree. I think Jim is low-key a huge douche.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm just going to go through this thread on like this person's perspective and we can just see what you think.
Okay.
Now, if you guys haven't seen The Office, I'm sorry, but like, whatever. Okay. It is understood that he is the audience surrogate, maintaining an ironic and level-headed distance from the plot. He reacts with you, and you rarely react at him, right? So he's kind of always on like the audience's perspective.
He's always playing offense too.
Meaning what?
Like, I feel like he's never the one being laughed at. He's the one that's laughing at people, and he's the one that's joking on people.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. It says, you rarely react at him, while also showing moral character to be admired. The viewer sees their position as spectator mirrored in Jim's. Naively, this is the function of the Jim stare, which is the thing he does where anytime something really awkward happens, Jim is just like, basically is like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's the Jim face, yeah.
Yeah. The camera snap zooms in on the eye, and the eye contact floods the screen. You stare at him and he stares back, a symmetry that lifts him onto the viewer's plane, or vice versa, in exchange of glances between friends in an awkward moment. Now, but when does it mean to exchange this glance with your own, A, surrogate, and B, role model? What does it mean to project yourself into a man always staring at the camera? In a real documentary, these glances would be shared with the camera crew. Jim stares directly into the lens. So I think I don't really know what their point is. I think that's just leading up. They're basically saying if this was a real documentary, which it's supposed to represent a real documentary, the idea is that he's kind of looking at
the camera,
the other people in the room, like, are you seeing this? In real life, an exchange of glances with a friend like this is a mutual affirmation. You're not alone in your reaction right now, even if we can't express it at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so like if you glance, like that's what you're basically saying with your eyes. It's an escape from inflicted isolation through seen and being seen. Jim escapes into the camera, not an equal to which he can relate, but a recording device which represents a possibility of any number of future observers through which he will be seen. The glance becomes staggered across time, and on Jim's end, there is only being seen, not seen. So their point is that because it's a show, this kind of interaction that he's doing is going one way. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's fake. So you can't have that interaction of like mutual understanding between two people because it's going one way. So Jim is only being seen, not seen. No, there isn't even that. Jim can only imagine the future observers. He imagines himself being seen. He is promising himself that he will be seen in a relatable light. The idea that the circuit will someday be completed is what reassures him, what affirms his being. I know this sounds like kind of a lot right now, but just they're getting to the point, okay?
Okay.
This is the insecurity, the narcissism, the solipsism of the Jim stare. He escapes into his own image as he imagines it to be, received by a future surrogate from the inert viewpoint of the lens, and this is portrayed as relatable and almost even desirable behavior. So because Jim is like normal to us, he's the normal one, we then become on his side.
Yeah, we
basically.
side with him, exactly. Because that's
we're
how
like-
he gets you.
Yeah, and then it says, Jim is the audience surrogate for us, but the camera is the audience surrogate for Jim. Get what I'm saying? So Jim is the one that like we can relate to, but the camera is the audience surrogate for Jim from his perspective. He is lost in himself and has no idea. He is far away. He is far and away the most fucked up psycho in that building. Now,
all right.
As a character, Michael is far better off than Jim. When he performs for the camera, he understands what he is doing. Jim never did. So they're saying like when Michael gets crazy,
he's aware.
He's aware. He's doing it because he likes the attention and there's a camera crew following him around.
And Jim's doing it not realizing he wants the attention, but doing it because it kind of helps him.
It helps him deal with it, kind of.
Interesting. Wow, someone is diving way too deep.
Now it says, look at us now. This is what we're doing today. If you're not careful, you fall for it, and your camera becomes far more than a camera. Jim staring all the time, TikTok, Instagram stories, endless eye contact with a hallucination of an audience that won't exist until you've already hit send. Needing to see and be seen in unison, you can settle for just staring at yourself through a thick layer of obfuscation. Share a glance with your friends across the camera, just like cool guy Jim. And then, okay, so that's the end of the thread. And then there was people talking in the comments about this or whatever. And someone said, great thread. Additionally, I feel like it contributes to the idea that there is an ever-present panopticon-like observer watching at all times that one must perform for. So their point is it makes them feel like because they've seen the show, it kind of makes them wonder, like, what if there's always someone watching you in your life? And it's like, I think the thing I took out of that with those last two things there was basically they're saying that's what we all do now.
It is kind of true.
I don't know if it's all I don't think it's entirely because of a character from a TV show that we have the idea of what we're doing, but I get what they're saying, that because Jim is the one that most people when they watch the show side with and enjoy, that action of like this affirmation of like feeling normal because you can like look at the camera. And when I read it, I was like, holy shit, that's exactly kind of what we're doing. Like,
we're talking to cameras too.
We're talking to cameras, but there's things that we say where we, we'll say something and then we have like a silence because we know that it's, whether it's an inside joke of the listeners of the podcast or we say something that we think the audience will have like an enjoyable reaction to. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain times when you say something and then we would react differently than we would if there wasn't any cameras because then we know there's no one else there.
And also, yeah, I mean, sometimes if you're saying something that is just completely like wild that I disagree with or something, I'll even look over at the camera and be like, what? Like, what's he saying?
Yeah.
And I've never thought about why I would do that, but I'm doing that to be like, I'm not crazy, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of like I never even thought of that. Is the reaction shots, like we both do that. There's sometimes we'll look and be like, what?
Yeah.
And it's because you're trying to be like grounded and be like, no, I'm the normal one, right?
Yeah.
And it's this reassurance.
That's weird. It's interesting how nowadays I feel like more than ever you can totally just break people down. Not like breaking down like I'm gonna break you down, but like here's the breakdown on Jim.
Yeah.
And like people are diagnosing like TV characters and all these random things. I don't even know if the people who wrote the show, I don't know if they had that in mind. Where Jim was gonna be this person where he's living in his own reality or whatever. Or that's just like how it was portrayed.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy how deep certain pop culture things can get with all these fandoms and people that make. Dude, there's a guy that made a 2-hour breakdown of Ratatouille. Like he broke down every single scene and what that means for the characters and why Remy would do that and what that leads to for future Remy. And like,
well, there's also people that have created the theory that Toby was the Scranton Strangler too.
Yeah.
It's like people can dive so deep into these things.
That's what I honestly love about like
it's cool.
Just pop culture in general. That's why. And that's a big part of why I love YouTube so much is because YouTube, a large part of it is people that are average people that make videos about something else that you, another average person, are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I can't just turn on cable TV and see someone breaking down episode 4 of Breaking Bad and like giving their random opinions on it.
It's true. And pretty much if you want to look something up to find a video about something, it's probably on YouTube. Someone's probably done it.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty rare that there's a absolutely original idea, you know?
Yeah. I know. And like, I also thought about how weird is it that people love to make like tutorials on YouTube, because there's so many things you can learn from YouTube, and I always wonder what motivated these strangers on the internet to sit down and make a 20-minute video teaching people how to like
do Premiere Pro or
like just do your taxes or how to fix this. Like there was a video, I had a tail light out in my car and I had to replace it.
I've done the same
thing. I have like a Lexus from 2003, and I looked up how to replace tail light in 2003 Lexus IS300.
There's like 10 videos.
And there's a guy that did the exact thing with my exact model of car. Yeah. And he just filmed it. I'm like, what a legend.
Yeah, it's just like so random. Why would you do that?
I think we just have a desire to like, I think a lot of humans have a just innate desire to teach, you know? But at their core.
If you were to give a tutorial on something on YouTube, just out of nowhere, what would it be?
I don't know how to edit a podcast, how to edit and upload a podcast. That's just like a process we do a lot that I feel like people don't know how to do.
That's true.
So yeah, what would you make a tutorial on?
I don't know, dude. I'm trying to think. Maybe like how to field a ground ball.
Okay,
I could help. I could help a little kid.
You help some kids.
Yeah,
you should make a YouTube channel where you just make baseball tutorials.
Yeah, you could be like my guy. So like, you know, like on Athlete X, Jeff Cavalier's got what's his face, Jesse. You could be my little baseball prodigy that I just turned you into a future star.
Oh, are you saying I'm the camera guy, or I can actually be like the guy that you help mold
Jesse
me?
was like the skinny guy that he's been like building up and like showing like here's Jesse's progress, and like Jesse used to do this wrong, but now look at him. You see, like it's relatable. And some other kid that sucks at baseball can look at you and be like, look, John can do it. You just got to watch Kyle's videos.
And you're like, yeah, if John can do it, you can do it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we should.
Probably not.
No, definitely
not. Yeah, I don't know. When I read that thread, it really made me realize just how weird internet culture is. Just the things that have become so normal, where if you're in a mall and you see someone talking to their phone like this, they're probably recording something for their Instagram story.
True.
And like, I don't know, even just the cadence in which I talk, and a lot of creators, like I've edited videos for a bunch of different people, and no matter who it is, when they talk in their videos, it's entirely different. Even if they don't mean for it to be different, they're putting on a different voice than if they're just talking outside or like when they're not recording. But in reality, there's no difference. The only difference is there's a camera. There's not even another person there. It's just a camera.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't people use their regular voice and be heard the same way? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that people who are really talented can't, like really talented comedians or actors. There definitely are times when I can tell like that person has no agenda to like talk a certain way. I feel like a lot of people talk a different way because they think it makes it more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But even that in and of itself is weird, that you're going to change the way you naturally talk. I don't know. I guess I guess everybody kind of does that. I guess that's not that weird.
I mean, I also think about it. I have so many different voices. Like I have like talking to adults' voice, talking to my friends' voice, talking to kids' voice. Like there's so many different voices, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's really interesting you mentioned that, because the other day I was talking to one of my friends on the phone, and I mentioned that we went golfing, which I wanted to talk about as well. But one thing that I think you'll like hearing this, I never had it had always happened in my life, but it's something that it had happened a lot, but I never realized until like a week ago what it was. And I think you're going to love this.
Okay.
There's times in my life where we'll be hanging out, whether it's you and me. It actually happened earlier today, but I didn't want to say it because I wanted to say it on the podcast, whether it's just you and me or whether we're with a group of friends, where you will talk or say a certain thing or a certain word in a certain particular way to where it sounds and almost like looks exactly how Connor would say it.
Whoa.
And it's been a really cool like kind of mind fuck for me. There's certain, like I remember the other day when we were doing the par 3, we were playing golf and you said something and I literally in my head, I was like, holy shit, that's like exactly how Connor used to say that.
Do you remember what I said?
I don't remember what it was. It's just like it's literally like random words here and there. Or when you say things with like a certain cadence.
I know what you mean. I don't know about specifically me and him, but I know what you mean, where someone will say something and it sounds exactly like how a different person would have said it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's weird because it's like, whoa, that's not him, I guess.
Yeah. And the coolest part is that, like, obviously it's you and it's stuff that you would still say, but it's like, I don't know. I like to think that it's probably partly because the way he talked inevitably rubbed off on all of our friends.
Yeah.
And like, I think the way everybody talks rubs off where like, if you were to say something a certain way, I could be like, oh, like that's something Shim would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's moments where it hasn't happened with other people, but you specifically, where you say certain things and I'm like, holy shit, that sounded exactly like Connor right there.
And I lived with him too, so that could have been part of it, just like him rubbing off on me. And that's random. Never been told that. That's really cool.
Yeah, isn't that dope?
Yeah.
And if it's really hard because it like if I'm not really focusing on it, it's just like can go right past me. But next time it happens, I'll be like, that's how Connor would have said it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, it just blew my mind. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so we're big golf guy. Well, you've been a big golf guy.
Am I though?
I'm becoming a big golf guy.
I play golf. I'm not good.
You can be a golf guy and not be good.
That's true. I'm a golf guy.
I'm a gym guy, but I'm not like huge.
Yeah. You're not Jim either.
Yeah.
I'm not a gym guy.
Whoa.
Like Jim Halpert guy.
I didn't even see what you were doing there.
Not a big Halpert guy.
We played our first 18. Well, I played my first 18 with you guys.
How did it feel? Any takeaways? Are you sore still?
I was really fucking sore the next day.
Where?
Well, it was mainly my legs, and I think it's because I did legs the day before going golfing.
Yeah,
but
it's not a good idea.
But also my fucking wrist, my right wrist, because every time I would drive and I would just shank it and like dig my club into the ground on accident, it would hurt my wrist so bad. And I was like, I gotta stop doing that because I'm gonna break my fucking wrist.
Your right wrist.
Like as I was swinging, if I hit the ground.
Oh, were you just chunking everything?
Bro, you see me? That's all I was doing all day.
I saw all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, that's golf. And it literally, you can't get worse.
Yeah.
Like you're only going to get better.
Yeah.
I've never gotten worse from golf.
You've probably had days where you do
I've had
worse.
days where I don't play as well, but I've never been like, oh no, I'm just so much worse than I was before.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's mainly I just need to like swing more. I just need to hit more balls, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we all played terrible.
Yeah.
I shot probably like in the 120s, 130s. Like,
yeah. But it was super fun. Like it was, I don't know, it was a cool experience to actually like say that I've played real golf now, you know? And
now you got to do it without a golf cart. That's real golf. And
I don't want to.
Sucks when you're bad at golf because it's so much walking.
Yeah. Even if you're good at golf, that just doesn't sound really fun to me.
That's how like old guys get their exercise. They're like, oh, I'm gonna play a round of golf and I'm gonna walk like 6 miles.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like if you love it, that's cool. But it's like, dude, I was so tired after that, and we had a cart.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how tired you'd be walking 18 holes. Those courses are huge too.
I still remember my first day. I had blisters everywhere. My hands, my feet, just everything sucked.
I didn't realize how big a par 5 is.
I told you, dude, you're gonna get to a par 5 and you're gonna be like, holy shit, I'm gonna get 25 on this hole.
Yeah, I just assumed. It's funny because there was a hole where I got like 15.
I've been there, trust me.
But I don't know. I just always assumed that like any hole, if you are good enough and hit it well enough, it would just land next to the hole. Like that anyone with a drive from like the tee box, if they're good, would hit it and it would land on the green.
Oh, no.
I just assumed that's how golf worked. But I didn't realize that like sometimes it's literally you can't even see the fucking thing.
Yeah, par fives, they're deep. That's when you need a good driver.
Is par 5 as far as they
Yeah.
don't do like par 7?
No, no, that would be stupid. It's like, yeah, it's an entire mile. Go ahead. That would be crazy,
It'd be
though.
cool for like to watch pros do that.
Yeah, I mean, like that's when Bryson DeChambeau would just dominate.
What if they like made a huge hole to where you literally would use your driver like twice? So you drive it.
I wonder what
and
they
then
would
you
do.
drive it again.
But you don't like re-tee though.
But maybe that's the thing is you tee up again.
I've never seen
tee
anyone
off.
try to use a driver on the fairway, but that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see the guy in the Masters that broke his putter and he had to putt with his 3-wood?
No, what?
Yeah, it's just I forget his name. It was some guy from Korea or South Korea, and he he was like pissed at a putt that he missed, and he slammed his putter on the ground, and he was kind of leaning against it, and the club head snapped off, and you can't replace it. They
for
don't.
the rest of the day or just on that hole?
It's for the rest of the day, yeah, at least. I don't know if he was able to get a new putter the next day, but I know if you break one of your clubs, like that sucks.
That's
So he was
so weird
Putting
because
with the 3-wood.
if you like in a lot of other sports, like if your shoe breaks, you can like have a timeout and go get a new shoe or something.
Yeah,
But I guess in golf, they're like, if you break that fucking club, it's your fault.
it is your fault if you break the club, unless you just sometimes you get unlucky and you're next to a tree, and then in your backswing you'll snap the club. I've seen it happen.
Wait, on the backswing they snap it?
Yeah, like let's say like the tree's just on their left and they finish and then the tree hits right there.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
But the backswing is when you're going back.
No, backswing is like when you're done. Oh, I guess in your backswing. Okay, sure. It doesn't matter.
What's the opposite of a backswing?
No, I think I said that wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I mean it was cool. I had a good time. I want to go again. What did you think of it? How was your day?
I always have fun golfing. I never expect you to do well. I didn't do well.
Some things that you did were like the best I've ever seen you do at them.
I figured out my driver for like 3 holes, and then I started spraying it again.
Yeah.
And that's
I hit a house.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think I hit a window?
No, it was definitely a
You think it
roof.
was a
I
roof?
heard it though. It sounded like a gunshot.
It did sound like, it sounded like a gunshot, and then our buddy Chief was like, "Oh no, you're fine. Like if it was glass, it would sound like a gunshot." And I was like, it kind of sounded like a gunshot."
Yeah, and they said they did see a potential broken window, but I don't think it.
They saw one.
That's what they said. I don't buy it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you broke a window.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Be
not
a-
your
be-
fault. Whatever. It sucks.
Like legally, what's the standard? Is it
I don't know.
like?
I assume if you break someone's house, it's probably your fault.
Yeah, no, I know that, but it obviously was my fault. But like legally, could I get like fined or something if I just flat out refuse to do it? Or is it more of like an honor system that like if you break someone's window, you're supposed to buy it? Or do you think when they buy houses on the golf course, there's something in the fine print that's like, hey, you're taking the risk. Someone could break your window.
I think that's part of the risk when you do it. My dad told me a story of one time he was golfing and like on the 18th hole, it was right by the parking lot, and there's a front row of cars, and my dad like shot it over the green and it busted someone's headlight, and the person came running out because they saw it happen. They're like, hey, like fuck you, pay me for my headlight. And then the marshal was like, actually, there's a sign right here that says park at your own risk. If no one's liable.
The marshal backed your dad up?
Yeah.
So your dad was like, ha, fuck you, bitch.
Yep.
Do you think I'm capable of being really, really good?
No. I think you can, if you play, you got to practice a lot, but yeah, I guess you could probably shoot decent.
So is it no or is it yes? You started with no.
I think yes, you could, but
Okay.
you're not going to.
Whoa.
Unless you're going to work every day at it.
Kyle, there's a reason we record at 1 in the afternoon because the whole morning I'm at my training camp.
Okay, well, then I would expect you to be better than me soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't seen me for 2 days, bro.
It's true.
A lot can change.
A lot can change.
You know how they say that, when you're like lifting, your like lifts can go up drastically at the beginning because you're getting so much better and you're fixing your form. I think that's how it's going to be with me with golf. Next time I golf, it's going to go from like 190 to like 80. And
To just to straight up 80?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then to like 40.
If you shoot an 80 playing 18 holes, I will chop off all of my limbs and not complain about it. If you shoot an 80 in the next year,
I'm doing my gym stare. I'm doing my gym stare.
yeah, there's no way you shoot 80.
Well, we got it on the record now.
Yes, that's fine.
So.
I'll stand by that. I will cut off all my limbs. You can cut off my limbs if you shoot an 80.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Within a year. Playing 18. Real rules.
So now you sound a little scared because now you
I have to. I don't want there to be any way where you're going to find a loophole.
It makes it sound like the fact that you just said within a year makes it sound like you think one day outside of a year I will shoot an 80.
That's what I said. If you wanted to work hard enough, you could.
Well, thank you. Thank you for thinking I'm going to shoot 80.
No, you won't.
So yeah, that was that. Oh, wait, then we went to a Mariners game. Or we went to the Mariners game before golfing, but
I just want to say, for you guys who are college-aged people, if you're at a Mariners game or at a baseball game or something, and you're that giant crowd of college kids that are all seeing each other for the first time in a while, and you're all drunk and spilling on each other, no one likes you.
And don't do that at a fucking baseball game.
And there's like kids all around and shit, and there's like you got like jewels and stuff. Yeah. I don't know how you got that into a game.
And literally blatant, just like water bottles of vodka. Like it was so obvious that it was not water because it's fucking smashed and the label's off. And every time it's so blatantly obvious that you're drinking alcohol because they take a sip and then they're like. And then also there's no way they were in college, right? They were high school.
They look like, I think maybe freshman year of college
really?
is the vibe that I got.
Okay.
I don't know. They could have been high school.
I thought they were like juniors in high school. They seemed really immature. And they just seemed really cliquey.
There's a lot of immature college. That's how frat colleges are though. It's people that are in frats and sororities like.
Yeah, but like usually I feel like if you're in college you're more likely to like hang out with like the genders mix more. And that felt much more like a group of the popular boys and then the group of the popular girls in the different row and then a group of like the B team popular guys and then a group of the B team popular girls.
Yeah, I don't know. But regardless, like we've been that age and we've definitely
I've never done anything close to that annoying.
I've probably been annoying at certain times in my life, but at no point did I ever think that like I was cool just being super fucking annoying. And like there's people around you too. I don't like to you guys listening, you have no idea what we're talking about. Well, there was a group of like young people in front of us that were just super fucking annoying.
And it was like a huge mob of them and literally like the tickets when you buy them, they have a system down to where there's literally seats that are zip tied off because they're trying to socially distance people or whatever. So we had 4 of us and we were all in one part. And then like the next, 6 seats in front of us, behind us, to the left of us, and to the right are like zip tied off. But then these fucking high school or college kids, how many were there? Was probably like 20 of them.
Gotta be like 20, yeah.
And they all just mobbed up there together, and then they just flat out broke the zip ties on like 10 chairs so they could all sit next to each other.
And it's like, what do you expect? And then they kept having the staff kept coming up and telling them to like shut the fuck up and like put masks on.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you expect? You're bringing so much attention to yourself.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it just comes down to like being horny. Like I'm serious. I think a large part of young people being rude and annoying is like horniness because they're trying to like
impress the other people
somehow, even though being a dick is not impressive at all. But
yeah, I
just feel like they think well, first of all, they were very drunk already.
It got real sloppy.
Yeah, very sloppy. But it's like, I don't know. I felt so bad. There was a family right in front of them before they got there. There's a family where it was a mom, a kid, a little boy with a Mariners jersey and a Mariners hat that was probably like 6 years old,
like
maybe
cotton candy, like
he probably one of his first Mariners games, and it's the mom, him, and then the dad. And everything's all peaceful. And then right before the game starts, these 20 kids show up right behind that poor family. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they left, I could see the family just be like,
fucking
like,
finally.
Thank God.
I don't know. I've always been that person to where like, if I'm with a group of people that I can tell is going to be annoying, that stresses me out so much because I can recognize that there are other people around me and I don't want to be that annoying person that's drawing a bunch of attention.
And that's normal. That's how it should, like, that's how we all should feel. If we're in a group, you should. I don't know, something that I would recommend if any of you. I know a lot of you guys are in middle school and high school. If you're ever in a scenario where you feel like you're uncomfortable, whether people are doing something illegal or they're just being rude or being a dick, either like stand up and be like, guys, like, let's get your shit together and be the leader to like stop whatever is happening. Or, and like, obviously that's hard and I don't expect people to do that. I never did that shit. But what I would do is I would just remove myself from the situation entirely. If I was ever in a position where, I don't know, if people are drinking and you don't want to be around that, if you don't want to risk anything, or if people are doing drugs, or even if they're just being like a fucking dick to someone, well, if someone's bullying someone, you should stand up for the kid being bullied. But just like, it's so easy just to leave. Literally, and I actually think, I was watching, I think I witnessed one kid who like was part of the group, and at one point he just got up and left and didn't come back.
Yeah, I related so much to that. I was like, I feel you, kid.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I know I was immature when I was younger.
Everyone
but
is.
There's no way I was that fucking annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's the special like group of the privileged kids that think that they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're just so, at the end of the day, you're fucking disrespectful and you're so annoying.
Yeah.
No one likes you.
Yeah. It didn't kill though. I will say the game was still hella fun.
Oh, I had a great
regardless. Time. But it would have just been a little more peaceful if we could have just been there watching baseball in the sun.
Yeah. But I would say special bonus too was seeing Joe strutting his stuff out there on the field. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. So do you want to tell the people what he does?
Yeah, so if you guys remember, we've had Joe on a couple times. He is a bat boy for the Mariners. He does the away side usually, so he was the bat boy for the Astros in that game, and it was awesome. Just seeing him grab like bats and stuff, seeing him running around and shit. I never realized how much they have to run. Dude, he had to like run to the bullpen and back like 3 different times.
What is he doing when he's going to the bullpen?
I think it was a pitcher who needed his jacket back. Because it was like when a relief pitcher comes in, he drops his jacket in the bullpen, like he takes it off, and then he pitches, and he goes back in the dugout. The pitcher's supposed to put their jacket back on, so he had to go run out, grab his jacket, bring it to him. And then I think he probably grabs some other stuff, like if they want more seeds or something, he probably has to do it.
Yeah, he's basically like a personal assistant for the away team.
Yeah, and he grabs all the bats and stuff, and he's like restocking balls probably.
Do you think that if you're a bat boy for the away team, like inevitably in his heart, he's rooting for the Mariners, but he's there to do his job and to serve this other team?
Yeah.
I always wonder if, because like the Mariners won a walk-off, so like he's in the away dugout with the away team that he's probably been trying to like be friendly and help them out and like get some rapport. And I wonder like at the end of those games when they lose, what the vibe is like, because he, in his heart, he's happy, and they're probably like, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they kind of just get the fuck out of there on a walk-off and don't really talk to him. And then he's free to celebrate as much as he wants.
That's true.
But yeah, we'll have him on at some point, probably later on in the season, or maybe when the season's over, and he can give us. I'm sure he's gonna have so many stories.
Yeah,
I've already just been asking him questions all the time, just because I think it's so cool.
Yeah,
and it seems like a really cool experience.
Yeah, I love how like a lot of podcasts, they're like, yeah, you know, we're reaching out to Bryce Harper and we're gonna get him on the show, blah blah blah, or we're reaching out to Russell Wilson, we're gonna get him on the show. And then our show, we're like, yeah, we're going to get our buddy Joe, who's the bat boy for the Mariners. And that's like, in my opinion, that's going to be way more fun.
Yeah. Because
like,
it's an authentic friend.
Yeah.
That like is in a cool situation.
I guarantee we'll have a better conversation with Joe than we would with fucking
Bryce Harper.
Mike Trout.
Yeah. Although I would love to have Mike Trout on the podcast. I don't know. He probably wouldn't be that exciting, but it's Mike Trout.
Yeah.
He's the man.
I would rely on you to carry that conversation.
Oh, I would.
You think you could talk to him for an hour?
I could talk to any baseball player just for hours.
You don't think Mike Trout would be the type of guy though, where it's like kind of just really hard to
I think he kind of is that kind of guy, yeah.
Where you ask him like, yeah, so like what was it like when you when you first entered the league? And he's like, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot. He doesn't do a lot of interviews.
And then just sits there.
Yeah. But anyways.
So, yeah, first game out of 10. First game of the season. How did you feel?
I would say 10 out of 10. I'm gonna go 9.7.
Whoa, what's the 0.3? Oh, just because the kids?
The people in front of us were annoying. But, you know, it's like at the end of the day, M's got the dub. We're in first place right now. It feels good. We beat the Dodgers yesterday, best team in baseball. So what does that mean? We're the best team in baseball.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's how that works.
It is exactly how it works.
Oh, you didn't get Dippin' Dots, though.
No, okay, yeah. So I'm going to say
9?
9.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right, guys, we're going to hop into the segments now. If you're new around these parts, how it works is this is the battle bracket, which is a bracket of the best things ever made ever. And
this is the battle bracket.
And we also have A&F of the week. So
let's get it going.
Let's start with the battle bracket.
Yes. So we are finally going to determine our first person, our first team in the finals. Okay. So we got Perfect Socks versus waking up to a nice text from an unexpected person. I mean, for me, this is easy. Wait a second.
Yeah, it's not easy, huh?
No, I was for no. It's easy for me. For a second, I thought we had the thing wrong.
Oh.
But yes, okay, it's easy for me. It's definitely a nice text over socks.
What? Literally 2 days ago when we were golfing, you said, and I quote, "Those socks look really nice."
They did.
They were super nice.
But did I say they were cooler than waking up from a text from a cool person that's like a cool text, you know?
No, but I'm going to pose you this question.
Pose me.
Let's say, so it was Sunday. It was around 3 o'clock when you mentioned those socks to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you had received a nice text that morning at 8 o'clock, by 3 o'clock, would that text would it still have real estate in your mind? Would you still be happy from that, or would it have worn off? Because if it would have worn off, then maybe those socks have a longer staying power. The good socks are more, they're a part of your day more than the nice text is.
Okay. But I feel like waking up to a nice text like that really could set a tone for your day. And I guess you could probably make the argument for putting on Perfect Socks, and it's like, this really set the tone for my day. I don't know. I haven't had great socks in a while. I actually just ordered new socks.
Okay.
So maybe they're going to be perfect. They're from Gymshark, so I'm assuming they're pretty good.
Oh, you got some Gymshark socks.
So I'm excited. So I might have to change my mind on this. I stand by waking up to a nice nice text.
Okay. Wait, I have to ask, how much did the socks cost from Gymshark?
3 pairs for $15.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Why?
I thought they were gonna be like $40.
Nah, Gymshark's really cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I think I got shorts for like $20.
Gymshark's definitely the most affordable gym brand.
I mean, what else?
I just don't agree. I don't know how else
you would rather wear nice socks than get that special text.
Well, how special of a text? That's the thing. If the text is just from a stranger and it's like, "Hey man, just wanted to say I like the show. I've been watching." I'd be like, "Oh, dope, thank you."
Well, I'm not thinking about a stranger. I'm thinking of someone that you know. Maybe you haven't talked to them in a while, or like maybe a long lost love interest or something, and then they text you and it's like, whoa.
Oh, I mean, if someone wants to, like, if they love me, like if it's that, then I'm all for that.
Would you qualify that as a nice text?
Yeah,
I would.
Okay.
And like, what else does this provide other than just having a nice sock? You know, like I'm
trying to think. 'Cause I have good socks on right now, so I'm trying to just kind of feel my feet and see what they're doing for me. Mm-hmm. I think what it is I just like being held, and I feel like they're just being firmly. It's like a gently held together, like when you hold a little dog.
Okay, well, what if it was from someone special telling you that they want to hold you?
Ooh,
you like
then
being
it's
held.
Like, it's kind of the same thing,
but way better because it's a person and not socks.
Yeah, if
like,
someone
would you rather
hot
be
was
held
like,
by
"I
a
want
hot
to hold
person?
you," I'd probably take that over. I would wear shitty socks for that.
Me too.
Okay, that's a fair point. So I think that made it to the finals.
All right, we got our first representative in the championship.
Cool. So
That's
who's
great.
next week?
Next week we got Next week we got when you make eye contact with someone and you both know what you guys are thinking, or sun after hella rain.
Okay,
that's gonna be a tough one.
Sweet. Now, A&F of the week.
Let's do it.
Who's your A this week, Kyle?
All right, I got a couple. First one. It's not gonna make sense when I explain it. So right now, the Mariners' standings in the AL West, that's their division, it spells sloth. because it goes right now in the order. It goes Seattle, Los Angeles, Oakland, Texas, Houston. And if you look at the first letter in each of the cities, it spells sloth, and that's sick.
That's like one of those dumb ESPN stats where it's like, oh, in 2017, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it's like normally I wouldn't care. I'd be like, oh, cool, it spells like fucking turtle or whatever. But it's sloth, so it's even cooler. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And the Mariners are in first place, so that just makes me even happier.
Well, and I feel like since like that order of teams being ranked that way, like never happens.
Never.
And so the sloth age, like this could be the new age where we're always at the top now, and it always spells sloth.
I hope so. We'll see.
Yeah. It also just I wanted to mention the Mariner game that we went to. It was against the Astros, and
Dude, fuck the Astros.
Well, fuck the Astros, but there was like I was joining in on like the booing of it just because it was like fucking fun, but dude, there was people booing when a guy like broke his foot or something.
Yeah, he like
sprained his ankle.
He rolled his ankle really bad and had to get carted off, and people were like cheering it,
like booing him for being hurt.
Yeah, it was weird, and I don't know.
Was that guy that got hurt? Was he on the cheating team?
I didn't recognize his name, so I don't know. I don't think so, but it pissed me off that there's just a lot of dumb fans out there that they boo like every Astros player, and like I get that. I don't like the Astros either, but you have to realize that not all of these players, in fact, most of the players weren't on the cheating team.
Some of them probably don't even want to be on the Astros.
No, they're just trying to. That's who they got signed to, and they're like, okay, I'll be here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I mean I get it. Like I join in more because like I have a thrill in knowing that I probably shouldn't be booing, or like knowing that like it's a dumb thing to boo at is why I like to join in the first place.
Yeah.
Like every time that the pitcher would throw to first.
Like, yeah, when they pick off and people boo. I hate when people boo for that. It's like it's part of the game. They're doing it for a reason. I would do the same thing.
But it's funny. I love to join in on it because I know how dumb it is.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. If it was a playoff situation, I'd boo for everything.
Yeah.
Just create chaos. I'm all about it.
Yeah. Okay, well my A this week is also baseball related. Well, softball related.
Oh.
There was a college softball pitcher. I have her name here. Did you hear about this?
Oh, yeah, I did. She's a fucking savage.
So she's a pitcher for who's Mean Green? Oh, North Texas. She plays for North Texas. She's a pitcher named Hope Trotwine, and she threw a perfect game, and every single one was striking out. Like she struck out every batter.
People need to realize how insane that is. Not a single ball was put in play. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like I don't even think that would happen if a Major League Baseball player played against a high school varsity team. Yeah. I think maybe one person could put a ball in play.
Oh, wait, a Major League pitcher versus a high school team?
I think someone it might happen. I could see that happening, but that's like the kind of level of like
how wild,
how dominant you have to be to do that.
Yeah. So, for people who don't know baseball, do you want to just like explain the difference between that versus like a different perfect game?
Yeah. So a regular perfect game means not a single person reaches base. So no hits, no errors, no walks, no hit by pitches, nothing like that. So every single person you face, you get them out right away. A perfect game like she did, she struck out every single person. So they didn't even hit a ball in play. Like they didn't even, no flyouts, no ground ball to the shortstop and he throws her out at first.
Yeah. Like
not one ball was put in. That's insane.
So like the only time they even would have made contact with the ball is if it was a foul ball.
Yeah. And I don't even know how many foul balls there were, but she struck out everyone. That's crazy.
Imagine if it was that and there was no foul balls.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
That would be like Major League Baseball player versus like a JV team. Yeah. Just no contact at all. So shout out to her.
That's wild.
What was her name again?
Hope Trotwine.
Hope Trotwine.
You are an absolute legend.
The next Jenny Finch.
Okay, my F or
wait,
no, you go.
I actually got another A.
Oh.
It is it's an A, but it's a woman who actually just passed away.
Oh.
She was the oldest living American woman. Okay, so this woman was 115, possibly 116. I guess they don't really know somehow.
What does that mean? Did she die on her birthday?
I don't know. I don't really know. But she left behind 68 grandchildren, 125 great-grandchildren, and at least 120 great-great-grandchildren.
Oh, my God.
That is insane. That is so many offspring from just starting from one woman. Like,
So wait, so how many kids did she have?
I don't know.
It didn't even say how many kids she had.
She clearly
must have had a lot of kids in order to have that many grandkids.
And then all her kids had a lot of kids, and all those kids had a lot of kids.
And they must have all had kids when they were pretty young too, because you
think there was like one person that was just pulling the weight and had like 15 kids,
probably
like an NBA young boy or like someone like that.
I don't get how he financially supports all his kids.
He's a rapper. He's got money.
Yeah, but he's not. 15 kids is a lot of money for child support.
Yeah, that's probably where all his money goes.
He's not like Drake. He's like he's rich, but he's not. I don't know if he's 15 kids rich. You know
well, there's people that have 15 kids that aren't NBA young boy.
That's true.
And
how many kids does Phillip Rivers have?
Like 9
8 or 9. Yeah,
but his also is all with one woman, with his wife.
Yeah. No, I just meant in general having that many kids is fucking crazy.
It is.
And I also can't believe that she's just was the oldest American, which means there's an older lady that's alive, like older than 115.
Older somebody else. I don't know if it's a lady or a man or somebody. She was the oldest person in the U.S.
Is wild.
Yeah. There's always someone in China that's like 130 and they chain smoke their whole life. Yeah. I don't understand.
All right, my F this week is a Georgia man. So not Florida this time.
But basically Florida.
Well, actually, it's more it's an F, not necessarily like because he did something, but he just had really fucking shitty luck. So this guy, he basically like quit his job, and he his name is Andreas Flatten or Flayton. So this guy from Fayetteville, Georgia, originally found a pile of 91,515 pennies in his driveway in March with a note attached to them that read, "Fuck you." And basically, this guy quit his job, but like he still was owed like his last paycheck.
Oh.
And so he like hadn't received it yet, and he kept nagging, or he not nagging, but he deserved his money. And the people that he from what I read, he quit his job, and the owner was like pissed that he quit and like didn't really like him or whatever. And so he didn't pay him for a long time. And eventually when he was like, yo, you got to fucking pay me, the owner went out of his way to pay him the amount he was due, but in pennies.
Dude, fuck that guy. What a douche.
Yeah.
So you're just going to not pay this dude, and then he's begging you to finally pay him, and you're like, fuck you, I'm giving you pennies. You're the worst.
It's a big fuck you. Like that guy, honestly, you kind of have to respect the dedication that he went out of his way.
Huge troll.
I don't even know how you could get 91,000 pennies. Like, can you go to the bank and just request a shit ton of pennies?
He must have. There's no other way he had pennies lying around. I don't know.
So, anyways, he dropped them off, and then I guess the story went viral, and then the company Coinstar ended up helping that guy out and like counting them and converting it to money for him.
Dude, imagine that. How much space do you think that takes up on your driveway?
I think they said something where it was like wheelbarrows full.
Wow.
So like I don't know how many wheelbarrows.
I was picturing like when people get mulch on their driveway and it's just this big pile of soil. It's just that but pennies.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know how many 91,000. How much money is that?
91,000 pennies?
Is that $9,000? 91,000 divided by 100, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's $920 something dollars. I think it's $920.
90,000 divided by 100.
Yeah.
$900.
Yeah.
God,
that sucks.
Yeah. There you go, guys. There you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
I have an F. Fuck you, man.
Oh. Didn't you already?
No, because you skipped my second A and then kept going. Okay, my F is Demi Lovato, because she got very upset about how this froyo place. Okay, so basically, she like was posting all over social media about this froyo place and how she hates this froyo place because they have like sugar cookies or sugar-free cookies, and they're like promoting like, hey, we have sugar-free cookies and vegan stuff, but like they're also cookies, they're not healthy cookies.
Okay.
So I think it was like the false diet kind of thing. And as someone, I guess, who had she has or had, I don't know what the term would be, an eating disorder. And so I guess she was very triggered by that. So she just went on this big rampage of trying to destroy this place. And she was going all over on social media, like bashing this place.
Was there something else, or was it all because
No.
basically she was mad that they were advertising that they had gluten-free vegan cookies.
Yeah, let me pull up the article.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with having gluten-free vegan
That's
cookies?
how I read it too. I was like, what are they supposed to do? They're a froyo place. Like, they sell froyo. They can't just be like, oh, so that's not healthy. I guess we'll just do only vegetables now. Like, their company is a froyo place. They sell froyo. Why are you upset?
Like, I could understand if it was deceptive marketing, if they were like, oh, we got these new super healthy, health-conscious cookies, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know.
Okay, so over the weekend, oh shit. So it says the place is called Big Chill. She slammed Big Chill for promoting sugar-free cookies and, quote, other diet foods. She says, finding it extremely hard, so this is her post.
Okay.
Finding it extremely hard to order froyo from @the Big Chill official when you have to walk past tons of sugar-free cookies / other diet foods before you get to the counter. Do better, please.
Wait, so is she mad that...
She's mad that she had to walk past cookies, I think.
But, like, in another way, that could be interpreted as she thought that, like, she was mad that, like, that kind of makes it sound like she's mad that it's, like, I don't even know what she's... I don't get it.
I don't either. I've read this article, like, 3 times, and I don't understand it. She then went on to say, I will be calling out harmful messaging from brands or companies that perpetuate a society that not only enables but praises disordered eating. #diet culture vultures. So
I guess that they're like healthy cookies is like tricking people into eating cookies or something.
Yeah, but I'm sorry if you're like dumb enough to think that those are healthy any cookies really like healthy.
Yeah.
It's like they're not healthy. And you're in a froyo place. You're not expecting to get something healthy. I don't know. I
don't understand that argument at all.
And I know as a country we are not healthy. We definitely like there's a lot of restaurants and businesses that promote unhealthy food. But I think we're all aware of that, and we're all aware of when we're in a place that's not selling healthy things. So I feel like, why would you set foot in a froyo place expecting to get something healthy?
And it's not their responsibility.
And like, she was bashing them all over social media. Like,
the froyo place doesn't have any responsibility to like have some moral obligation to serve you healthy food or
no.
And
they're
like
trying to make money.
It's one thing if they're lying, if they're like, oh, we have vegan cookies and they're just not vegan or something. I get that, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She also said, this was in a message that she wrote to them on Instagram, I think. She said, you don't want to mess with me. You're in the wrong, and the customer is always right. That is the
customer's not always right.
That is the most privileged sentence ever. It's just like, come on.
I listened to her podcast with Joe Rogan from like just a couple weeks ago. She was on Joe Rogan for the first time. She has a wild life story, like fucking crazy, from being a child star, and then she had like eating disorders, and then like the
opioids,
career stuff, and then the opioids, and it was actually so sad. She was like, I'm sure most people heard about when she had one relapse, and then she had like a big one just a couple years ago. But like apparently she didn't really, it was never public news, but she told Joe on the podcast that she's like, she can never drive again. Like that OD, the second OD made her like partially blind. She has a bunch of blind spots in her eyes. She said if she looks at someone's face, she like can't see most of their face because there's just blind spots all over the place. And
well, that's really sad.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fucking sad. And like, I don't know, she seemed like a good person, but that doesn't mean that I think that her argument wasn't fucking stupid.
Exactly. I'm happy that she's doing better, but that whole situation is just so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to complain about a froyo place for selling sugar-free cookies.
Yeah. I told Kyle and Shim the other day, but there's this restaurant that just serves really unhealthy burgers. They're just the most fattening burgers ever, and they're massive. And you walk in the door, and there's just a big sign that says nothing here is healthy.
Yeah.
And I love that.
You're acknowledging it. That's good. It's like in Vegas where you have to weigh yourself on that scale, and I think if you weigh above either 300 or 400 pounds, you eat free.
Yeah.
It's like, that is the most American thing ever.
That's kind of genius, though.
It is.
It's horrible.
It's fucked up, but it's very smart.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes the best marketing ever, like the things that work the best, are sometimes the most fucked up.
Or just complete honesty.
Yeah.
True. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Peak to Middle School. There's new episodes every single Monday and Thursday.
Okay.
Kyle, but if they just can't get enough, if they're just a fiend, like, I need more.
Need more?
Where can they find more?
Patreon.com/PIMS podcast.
There you go.
We got a bunch of stuff on there for you. We got pre-shows. We got behind-the-scenes bloopers. We got, like, other vlog. We got feet. We got everything on there.
Yeah. You guys can find merch. I wanted to say the shirt I'm wearing right now is not our official merch. This was like a test one that I did from like a different company like a couple years ago. But it's hilarious because Kyle or Shim noticed it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Kyle was wearing one of these and Shim told him like, bro, those like aren't centered.
Yeah.
And I never realized it until yesterday. I put on this shirt, and this is one of the old ones, and it's literally so off-centered.
So if you're one of the OG PIMS fans that we sent, if you guys are still listening, if we sent you one, we're sorry. That shit's way off to the side.
Yeah, but our real merch, our higher quality merch, is available at pims.store, and it is perfectly centered. You can get hats, t-shirts, hoodies, a bunch of cool stuff, so go check it out. But with that being said, Kyle, where can they follow you?
Kyle Stafford 36. Follow the podcast at PIMS Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
You guys can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I am currently doing a movie challenge that I mentioned the last couple episodes, and I now have like 125,000 followers somehow. It's going crazy, and I just want to continue the hype. So if you guys want to go check it out, go follow me over there. And also I'm posting movie reviews for each one of those movies on my movie channel called Hey Narwhal, which is linked down below. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.